business plan, and hopefully by the end of the night, you'll have one complete and kind of understand one, so you can have one for yourself. So for those that completed one already or have one, why is it important to have a business plan? Just a sentence or word. Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. Yep. Yep. You were gonna say something. No. Yeah. So foundation piece is basically just, we have the sentence up there, but it's basically just to guide you through the stage of your business. If you want to think about it, it's like a roadmap that you're planning to take from beginning all the way through the end. And at the same time, you could go through that business plan. Once you already established your business, you've grown your business, you could go back to it and see how you did compared to where you're at. You know, something you may have missed during your whole process of the business, of the growth of the business, and also, you know, where you've succeeded. So that's the main reason of the business plan. So this is you. We're gonna alternate too, so yeah.
Good evening, everyone. So for those who don't remember, I'm Tony Maggio. I'm with Community First Fund. Community First Fund is a nonprofit organization. We lend, we're mission driven, so we help lend to women-owned businesses, minority-owned businesses, or businesses that are located in low to moderate income areas. We come in and assist when traditional financial institutions may not be able to. So tonight we're going to be talking about the purpose of your business plan, and we've already reviewed that a little bit. The purpose of the business plan is basically it serves as communication between yourself, your bankers, and your investors if you're going to have investors. It's a roadmap for you to be able to put out on paper, a guide, and it should be ever flowing. Your business plan should never stay stale. It's something that you should be working with and revisiting as you go through it. So what do we include in a business plan? As you stated, we have the forms that we'll be going through in the second half and looking at to do your mission statement and review that. But some of the items that we're going to include in your business plans, this is your chance to tell your story. Come on in. Angela. So, thank you. Yes, thank you. Your business plan is your chance to tell your story. So, those who have done business plans or those or have looked into it, what should you be including in your business plan? Anyone? Come on, guys. This is your time. Yes, please help us out. I don't like talking in front of people. I'm very nervous right now, so please help me. Marketing strategy? Let's do it.
I have the executive summary with a blurb about the business, management, the customers, target of company, company structure, company owners, why this company is being started, how the company will be started, service for the customers, including what we offer, market analysis, marketing segmentations, potential customers, working the community, residential community, passerbyers. This is all for my stuff, I'm sorry. Product pricing, so I have an idea of that, strategy, personal plan, and staff.
Excellent, thank you. I'm sorry. So we just ran through the whole guide of what you should include in your business plan. But let's dig into a little deeper. So why are we going to put this in our business plan? Why are we asking for this information? Why is it important to include, in your business plan when you're telling your story? So obviously we want to know what you're doing, what's your service, what you're selling. What is unique about your business? How are you setting yourself apart? Is this a brand new idea, or are you repeating something that someone's already done? And how are you going to do it better? What are your company's strengths? What are your weaknesses? Again, how many have heard of the SWOT analysis? So it's good to include in your business plan. It's an option out there that marks down your strengths and your weaknesses and how you're going to overcome them. And then what's the nature of your industry? What is it that you do for your, so basically, like I said, it's your story. I use it as, so when you're going to a borrower or to a lender and they ask for your business plan, what we're asking for is, so our job as business lenders is to take your business plan and be able to explain it to somebody else. So the more detail that you have in your business plan makes it easier for us to explain, makes it easier for everyone who's looking to invest in your business to go ahead and have a good, quick sneak peek at what you're going to do to make your business successful.
How it's set up, like for a banker, is it standard, every business plan should look the same? Do you know what I mean? Like if you have like it broken down into different areas, like when you look at it, should everyone look the same? So they're like, oh my goodness, I have to find this and I have to find that. Do you know what I mean?
Sure. So the standard formation is going to be pretty much the same, and it's going to be similar to the handouts that we gave, but this is your story. So again, the layout should probably be similar because most bankers are going to be looking for, you know, the standard layout of, and they have certain points that they're going to be checking off. But what goes into those points should be yours. Let's talk about some of the other items that would go into it and the why behind it.
Yeah, one of them is the description of the market. So who is your target customers? So you all have different businesses, you all have different customers that you're going to reach out to. And that's part of networking that we talked a lot. You know, you want to reach out to those that are within, you know, that fit in that space that you're trying to reach out to. Because that network would then introduce you to more clients and introduce you to more people. Again, those customers would also have to fit your realm on what you're trying to promote, what you're trying to get out there or try to sell as well. The next one is how large the market of the products or services. Again, same thing that we talked about. You want to look at the space that you're marketing to, the individuals you're marketing to, and then is the market growing? The business that you're looking into, getting into, you want to make sure, almost like what Tony said, if it's a business that's already existing, you wanted to see if that specific business is it's going to grow, basically. If it's not, then how can you make it grow? How can you reach to and expand and grow that market, needing your product, needing your services as well? And then, obviously, the last one, I think that's one of the important ones too. It's what are you marketing, advertising strategies? I can never say that word right. But, you know, what are you doing to advertise? You know, obviously right now, the easiest things to do is social media. Are you on LinkedIn? Are you on, we've been doing Facebook to do advertising on Facebook or even Instagram. There's multiple ways to do that nowadays, but are you using those channels to your advantage to reach those extra markets that you want to do? And then also your pricing strategy. You know, are you in line with any competitors or with other people within the same business as you? If you're not, then that's what you want to see. If you want to increase your prices, or if you want to increase your costs, decrease your costs as well, because at the end that would affect your bottom line. And again, this is where 2 years down the road, 3 years down the road, you could look back at your business plan and see how you did. You know, if you're pricing right from the beginning and where you're at now, and you can compare year to year, at your end results, year-end results. Then, and yeah. No, you.
Thank you. So when you guys are thinking about your actual description of your market, is everyone here in downtown Harrisburg? Anyone else not in kind of the city of downtown Harrisburg? Any differences between Hummelstown and Harrisburg? Really?
There's a lot. I mean,
I mean, I thought so too, so I thought you were gonna go.
I mean, like, I don't know, I can't put it into words. I know that there's differences, like, as far as, like, the pricing of things over there and here is different. I don't know, it's like, the environment is just different.
Very different, right? So when we think about downtown Harrisburg, at least the way that I think, been here for 14 years? When I think about downtown, especially this city, there's a clientele that you have, especially during the day, right? The day in Harrisburg is very different than the evening in Harrisburg. Yes? I talk to a lot of times, there is a gyro vendor over on Second and Pine. My favorite. I mean, he beats Philly, in my opinion, as far as the food. Phenomenal. His name is Muhammad. And when I talk to him about his marketing or like describing his market, he literally will like be open one day and then the next day he's not open. And I'm like, I'm so hungry for chocolate. I want a donut. He is, he really, he does very well, but he really has no rhyme or reason of the days and honestly knowing his market. Again, does really well with the state employees because they literally just walk down the street and get lunch. But then there's a lull for him for like 8 hours, and on a weekend, he does well later, right? When the summer comes, it's a little bit different. So when we're thinking about downtown Hummelstown, you don't have that same, clientele. You don't have state workers coming in. That's where I'm saying, like, you really need to understand your market. And I know that I keep saying the why, but the why behind it. So to invest and to really make sure that your business plan is correct for your market is crucial. You're not going to know this right away. Can you do research? Of course you could. But different types of businesses, it's going to look different. Say what, it's not salsa, it's chalsa, right?
Chelsea, yeah.
Chalsa. So selling chalsa, are you actually a brick and mortar?
No.
You
so
do it
it's
online.
It's all e-commerce and all events, and we do some grocery stores too. So those are three different channels. Yeah.
Completely different, right? So, you really need to think about that. It's crucial, guys. Are you going to know that up front? No. And sometimes you have to test it, right? Like see what you're doing, who you're kind of marketing to, and that's when you're going to find out. Your business plan is not just, here's my business plan and I'm done. It's constantly growing. And that's the whole point. Okay, I'm sorry.
No problem. A lot of great points. And so part of understanding your market is also understanding your competition. So why do we need to understand our competition? Sorry, I don't mean to point.
You want to make sure you're staying within like pricing guidelines, for an example? Not guidelines, but like you're not being too.
You're not overcharging, not undercharging. Is anyone starting their business because they went to now their competition and just didn't like their service or thought you could do it better? Right? So you started because you found a product that you thought you could make better than your current competition.
Yeah, I was going to say probably one of the core things is quality, right? So keeping specifically in the food industry, I think it's important that you always have to keep abreast of your competitors' pricing and the quality of the food. So like using social media channels such as Yelp or Facebook or Google reviews, all that intelligence is really important.
So it's understanding what's going to set your business apart from your competitors and understanding why your clients or your customers are going to come to you instead of going to the person next to you. It's part of the, we got all three of them up there. And then why is it important to know how well your competitors have done over the last few years and what is their fail rate? Understanding, again, your market and your competitors is important for your business plan going forward to help set your business plan into action and your projections. So how do you find out about this information? How do you find out about, my competitors' sales, or, how do I find out who's going in front of my location, or how many people are going to visit my site? So there's many tools out there for that. Obviously, Google, the internet, it's a great, great service. Has anybody heard of the SBDC, Small Business Development Center out of Kutztown? So they also, the SBDC is run by the SBA. What they have, it's a free service to any business client, entrepreneur out there located in Pennsylvania. What they can do is they have the database from the SBA. So they will help you get together your business plan. But what they have at their fingerprints is, again, the marketing from the SBA database. So they can look at your address and say, you have 250 cars that drive by you between the hours of 8 and 9. So they can provide you some of this detail that can go into your business plan. Again, you can go out and find it yourself on Google and the internet, but the SBDC has this information already, and they're ready to help you as well.
Sorry, Tony. Has anyone ever used SPDC? Have you ever even heard of it? Yes, nice. What have they done for you, or how have they helped you?
So honestly, I used it because there was a grant, Creative Entrepreneur program that's administered through our local foundation here, the Foundations for Enhancing Communities. And so to be able to access that grant, you have to have a consultation with the SBDC at Kutztown.
Great.
And then, so part of that discussion, they help you, come up with a business plan, or if you don't have one, and they continuously send you opportunities for other webinars that might be in meetings and whatnot that may be of interest.
Helpful? Were they helpful?
Yes, I think some of the foundational stuff, I already had some of that, but conversations around access to money and capital are super important, so.
Huge. I highly encourage you guys. They will do so much for free. And I know that ours is in Kutztown, but they're phenomenal. You can literally give them a call. You can send them an email. You can do a webinar. You don't have to go to Kutztown.
Right.
And they're accessible, and they're super helpful.
I think like one of the main beneficiaries of it was that they were able to connect me with like specialists within the industry. So to gain that intelligence is like really valuable. So like I don't know what industries are here specifically, but I assume that they have the resources to like that would be tailored to help your business succeed. So yeah, definitely suggest it.
Awesome. Thank you.
Yeah, they're definitely worth the connection, and we'll have their contact information on a later slide. What they can do to help, and again, provide the information that they have on file is great. I also encourage, just as a side note out of the area, is that when you attend classes like this, or you've gone through the SBDC program, include that as a note in your history or in your personal profile. Again, it shows your commitment to learning and building your business, so that as we're reviewing it and looking at it at the loan committee, they're seeing that as an owner, you're investing your time, your energy into bettering yourself, your knowledge. So include these types of classes in your business plan under your management, and I believe that's what we're talking about next.
So we got two mics, so it feels like a rap battle or something. All right, so the next one is the management capacity. So this one is, this is where you talk about your experience about management. You might be the owner of the business, but are you really gonna be running your business and being in a storefront or being at the place of business 24/7? That might not be the case, because again, you're going to go out networking, you're going to go out talking to people, to meetings. So you want to have people there that that can cover for you, that you can rely on, that could be that management style person that could take care of issues, whether it's clients' issues or just any of your customers as well. But it doesn't necessarily have to be like your experience within that business. So if you're with your business, if you're selling it, it doesn't necessarily have to say, what's your experience selling that specific or running that specific industry. It's more so, how long have you been in that industry? So have you been, whether you're a chef before, or whether you did some type of community service, or whether you volunteered within that industry, that helps and that shows your experience within that industry as well. The next one is your, again, same thing, management background. And then who would manage your business? And as I said earlier, that's crucial because, again, you're not going to, majority of the time, you're not going to be there from open to close. If you're out, great. If you are, great. But at the same time, you got to go out there. You got to be seen. You got to let your business be known. So you have to have that individual that's your right-hand person that you can rely on, and they could run the show basically without needing you or your support. And then the other part of the piece is who are the key management people in your company. So you're going to have, you may have management, you may have, depending on the size of your business, you may have other individuals that can be assistants, that can be, even people that run your, your advertising. So someone that handles the financing. So you're going to have different people in those roles that that you can rely on, you can count on, and they're doing what's right for your business. At the end of the day, it's your responsibility to just spot check to make sure everything's going well. And, because again, it's your business, it's your baby, something you started, and you got to make sure it's right. So. Am I missing anything else on the management piece or capacity?
Yeah, I would add to that. Starting off, you are probably going to be your owner, your salesperson, your advertising person, your own accountant, your coffee maker. You're it. So, but including in your business plan is not day one, but also what you plan to become. You want to have a vice president. You want to have a marketing director, if that's the plan of course, the direction of your business that you want to grow. So including that of, yes, right now I wear every single hat in my business, but I plan on, as I grow, to hire a advertising company as part of my advertising budget. I plan to have an accountant on staff. It's always very important as you're starting out. Obviously, you're trying to save as much money, and you don't want to be spending it on accountants and lawyers and all those things. But it is very important to at least discuss or have conversations with them. They consider them your ecosystem of professionals that help guide you, and you want them to be talking. And what do I mean by that? Why is it important for your accountant and your lawyer and your lender to know what your plans are all in one? Does anyone know that?
Well, I'm going to take a guess. So everyone can be on the same page about your vision for your company or your business.
Right. So that everyone is on the same page about your vision and your, the trajectory of where you're going. Why is that important? So accountants are very good at saving you money when it comes to taxes. However, if they don't know that you want to buy a business or a building in the next year, and they say, well, we're going to save you a bunch of taxes, you won't pay any taxes in year one, and you didn't tell them you wanted to buy a building in year two, you're going to come to me and say, I want to buy a building. I'm like, great, you didn't make any money last year. You can't buy a building. So again, having that conversation with your lender to say, all right, I want to buy a building next year, what do I need to do? I'm going to say, make sure your accountant is showing your cash flow, that you have enough cash flow to purchase this building. So make
How often does that come up?
every single loan. So again, it's
It's true, guys. It's so true.
I run into a bunch of businesses, and again, their accountants are very smart and they want to save you money, but you want to let them know what your plan is, what your 5-year plan is, because then they can then accurately give you advice.
Have you seen that to actually say who your accountant is? Have you seen actually put that in the business plan?
If you have it, absolutely. If you are currently working with one, absolutely put who you're working with in your business plan. Mm-hmm. Any other questions?
Question, does everyone right now have an accountant and a lawyer? It's okay if you don't. I'm just
For nonprofit businesses, what does a lender look for if there's like no specific cash flow?
You guys want to take it, or do you want me to take it? Go ahead.
I mean, at M&T, it would be the same way as everyone else.
Similar.
I mean, we look at contributions where your donors are coming. It's, what else? That's the biggest thing that we looked at. I mean, when we did nonprofits, it was where your donor, who your donors were, your larger donors.
So we're looking for, what we're always looking for is how we're getting paid back. How are we gonna get paid back? So as a nonprofit, depending on how you are getting your donations, your grants, you wanna have those lined up in your business plan. If you'll plan on for your income for the nonprofit, if it's, 65% of donations, or you plan to, you've already looked up and established that you want, there's 5 grants that you're gonna apply for every year. So you want to be including that, and what's those amounts? When are they due in? When do you expect that cash to go through? All that will be taken into consideration. So again, you're asking to borrow money, we want to know how you're going to pay it back. So wherever that income's coming from to pay back is how you're going to propose it on your business plan.
And Tony's spot on. So I'm working on one right now, and the biggest thing for nonprofits is what's called change in net assets. So other businesses are looking at debt service coverage, and what that means is how much debt do you have and how much could you cover, right, with your income coming in. In nonprofits, it's change in net assets. Completely different. Listen, I'm new to nonprofits, to be quite honest with you. I've worked for bigger banks in my past, and we always had a nonprofit person that we would send our deals to. Now at M&T, we actually do our own, so I am learning. I literally just sat with underwriting today, this afternoon, to talk about change in net assets and the difference that we look at for nonprofits. One of the biggest things is, no grants are guaranteed, but are they constant? Is there, some of them, believe it or not, have like contracts, like they're gonna pay you $250,000 over the next 5 years. A lot of times that happens, which means you're gonna have 50,000 positive cash flow coming in to your nonprofit every single year. And maybe that's just from one bank. Maybe that's from the federal government. Maybe that's from the state. So great question. It literally is different, and I promise you I will let you know. I'll be with you guys every week how this goes for me, because it's new. I'm just learning it. I had an idea of how it worked, but man, I'm learning. So yeah, I will share with you. Great question. Thank you.
Which leads us into, I believe, one of our last slides, but it's the important one of how are you going to, again, now we're talking to our lawyer friends, how are we going to legally organize your business? What type of organization are you going to set up? Will you be a sole proprietor? Will you be an LLC, a corporation, or a nonprofit? So again, this is when you're going to want to talk to your lawyer and your accountant, because again, there's different tax laws that are involved with each type of organization that you go through. So depending on what style you choose is going to depend on, again, how your accountant handles your taxes. There's benefits for each, and I believe your next class, there's a panel coming in that will be able to discuss that in more detail. But that's one of the first decisions you're going to have to make. What type of business am I going to be?
And you can change that too. So just because, I mean, for those that don't have accountants, if you feel like, you just registered an LLC because that's what you felt like you had to do, you can always change that organization to a corporation, to an S Corp, whatever it may be. So just because you don't have an accountant right now, you don't know exactly, like, if you did it right or not. Once you get one, that's when, again, you can talk to them and discuss what your plans are, growth, et cetera, that you may just keep it as an LLC or change it to C Corp or S Corporation as well.
And you're able to utilize again, use technology at your fingertips. Google, I know, again, with the SBDC, they're going to have a lot of contacts for you. I know that Penn State Harrisburg has a free business attorneys there that they offer some advice as well. So there's different programs in the area, again, for entrepreneurs, that if you don't have the money up front, that they're free to you. I'm sorry, what? SBDC? Yeah, Small Business Development Center.
And we have that.
And I believe we have, yep, let's go. These are our disclosures. This is for Kutztown, and that's their phone number and email address. I also have some flyers I'll leave on the table out front. It just has that information on it as well, so you have it with you. We're going to be starting to go to dinner soon, but what I'd like to set up for our second half of the class is I'd really like to dig into your business plans. So what we want to do is after we come back, we're going to want to start and dive into your mission statement. So, what goes into your mission statement? And that's kind of what we're going to think upon. Those who have business plans, if you have them with you, or if you can pull them up, we'd love to hear what your current mission statement is. So we're going to go eat now. What time do you want?
Like 15 minutes, guys, and you remember, you're able to bring the food in here, and we can kind of, eat while we're talking, but go ahead, Tony.
Yep, so when we come back, we'll jump into sharing a few business plans, mission statements that people who have their business plans available, and then we're just going to get into some groups and hopefully write out your own business plan and have some time to share those at the end as well. Any questions on what we covered previous to before we go to lunch, dinner?
And there's always going to be time for questions, guys. Don't, we're going to be here all night. I did take into consideration
Yeah, we can do it. Yeah. Okay. Yep. Okay, guys, and just so we can continue to have some time, we want to get started. Please feel free to continue eating and enjoying the food. In this section, like I said, what we'd like to do is get started on your mission / vision statement. So a strong mission statement for businesses plan typically capture the essence of what the company aims to achieve and why it exists. It should be concise and typically within a paragraph, 2 to 4 sentences. And again, it should be able to tell what the business is and what you're looking to achieve. Top 10 items that go into a strong business plan: clarity. The statement should be clearly articulate the purpose and goals of the business. It should answer the questions: what do we do? Why do we do it? Concise. Keep it brief, to the point. The mission statement should be easily and memorable, understandable by employees, customers, and stakeholders. Inspirational. It should inspire and motivate both internal and external stakeholders. It should reflect the company's aspirations and values, fostering a sense of purpose among employees. Differentiation. Highlight what sets your company apart. Alignment. Ensure that the statement aligns with your company's core values, objectives, and long-term strategy. It should guide decision-making and actions at all levels of the organization. Future-oriented. The statement should convey a sense of the company's future direction and aspirations. Authenticity. Again, this is your story. Make sure the statement reflects your genuine beliefs and intentions of the company, and try to avoid cliches and generic language. Measurability. While not always necessary, some companies include measurable goals inside their business plans. And then relevance. Regular review and update your mission statement to reflect where your business is at that moment. So we'd like to break off, first of all, those who have business plans. Would anyone like to share their current mission statement? Come on. All right.
My mission statement is, Belly 2 Studios is committed to revolutionizing education, remembrance, and real estate through innovative technologies and heartfelt experiences. Our vision is to empower individuals and communities to celebrate, connect, and create lasting legacies by leveraging emerging technologies and virtual reality, augmented reality, and 3D scanning.
So what do we think about his mission statement and vision statement? Does everyone heard it correct? So from that mission statement, what does he do? What is his business about? Anybody?
It's about technology, about like the virtual reality piece of technology.
Right, so he's specifically laid out the mission of what he's trying to do, what sets him apart, because of using the technology piece, the 3D technology that I don't know everything you're doing, the 3D technology. So again, he mentioned what he's trying to do and why it sets him apart and the why behind his statement. Anyone else want to share theirs? Has anybody in here not seen a mission statement or a business plan? Has everyone viewed a business plan or has seen one at one point? Sure.
So 2 years ago, yes, 2 years ago. There was a business giveaway that a person was having that owns a restaurant in Philadelphia. They're pretty well known, and they were giving $10,000, marketing. It was a whole package deal that they were like giving away to a person who was starting their business. and you had to do a bunch of things to like qualify for to get in the contest. And one of the things was to do a business plan. I had no idea what I was doing, obviously. So I kind of pulled a template off of Google search somewhere, and I played around with it, plugged stuff in there that, again, I wasn't really sure what I was doing, but it did give me a little bit of practice. I didn't have a logo. I created one with a manila folder and some tweed from a paper bag. I mean, literally. And y'all, I made it to the out of 523 contestants, I made it to the final 21. It was crazy. But I did get to play around with a business plan, but it, I'm pretty sure y'all gonna help out a lot more with this one. So, thank you.
I know it needs work, but.
It's so hard, guys, to hear you guys back here. I know the microphone is kind of a pain, but when you're talking, I can't even hear you. So thank you.
Review her business plan.
Now, my mission Total Rehabilitation Systems LLC is committed to providing quality home health services to all of our patients by providing state-of-the-art rehabilitation equipment while remaining in the comfort of their own homes. Our goal is to provide an environment where clients can elevate their current standard of living by providing assistance, access to community services, needed durable medical equipment, exercise, and training for staff and caregivers.
What do we think? Does anyone not know what she does? Pretty specific, wrapped it all up within a paragraph. Again, we're super detailed, specific. We know exactly what she's doing and what her mission and her goals are. So what we'd like to do now is take the next, let's do 10 minutes. So at 7:40, but getting partners of 2. And write out a 3 to 4, like a paragraph, business vision statement. And then we'll get back and share a few of them and hopefully do some brainstorming around them. We'll walk around and help out in any way we can. I also do have an example statement, business plan, if anyone would like to look at one. Yes, so don't be shy, just get next to you. We can have these 3 here, you 2. If you 2 get together, you 2, and then you 3. Be perfect. All right, everybody. Now we'd like to get into the fun part. Excuse me. So now we're going to have some fun. We want to hear. We want to hear what you came up with, and I want to hear some comments and hopefully some good advice. So let's go around
I got one.
and
Look at Oscar.
look at that.
Ladies, that one.
I'll bring you some mac and cheese or something. Queen's Barbecue and Southern Cuisine's motto is everyone eats at Queen's. Queen's Barbecue and Southern Cuisine is a family-orientated, for-profit, pay-it-forward, pay-what-you-can barbecue takeout restaurant that specializes in from-scratch Southern home-style cooking in the neighborhood of Midtown in Harrisburg City.
Love it. Nice job. Do we know what she does?
Who wants to share next?
Apparently Angela is voluntolding.
All right, I'll take it.
I do it out of love.
I don't have to stand up, do I? I can sit right here? Okay.
It's good practice for your presentation.
Okay. We are Unravel, an existing business located in Harrisburg, Pennsylvania, specializing in unraveling and taking out hairstyles. With, with a focus on customer satisfaction, we offer services such as unraveling hair, scalp detox, beard treatments to cater to natural hair. Busy professionals and fashionistas in our target market.
Go ahead, Angela. You don't have to ask me. Did that hurt? No. Okay. Angela, do me a favor. Share what you shared with me as I was sitting back there quickly.
Here's the thing, guys. This is the warm-up. This is the safe space for people who are doing the same thing you're doing, getting nervous, getting anxious, trying to build something better. In a couple weeks, you're going to be pitching in front of people who want to give you money. If you can't stand up in front of us, your family who wants you to succeed, you're going to fall apart in front of people who are trying to give you money. So stand up, get out your jitters now, get nervous now, say weird things now, so that when it's important, you're ready.
Well said.
Love it.
Well said.
Angela. Now you feel guilty.
There you
You
go.
feel like you got to stand
Yeah,
up.
nah. Yeah, that's pretty much why. Gracefully Broken is a women's transition home designed for those women that want healing to become a better version of themselves. By becoming a better version of themselves, it allows women to become better moms, sisters, daughters, friends, wives, become self-sufficient, find their identity, and financially responsible. Gracefully Broken will give women the keys to live a successful and purpose-driven life. Women can learn how to love their lives even when the best decision has not been made. Gracefully Broken will provide a safe environment to sleep and heal. We will provide the necessary household and personal things needed until she is able to provide them for herself. Gracefully Broken is a one-year phase program that will transition women into their next level of purpose. Our curriculum is based from a healing and recovery perspective.
Let's keep going down the line. All right.
Thank you. You're welcome. Now you know better. You know.
A positive place strives to create a safe space where everyone is respected, accepted, and connected. It's an environment where individuals will be empowered through positive support and correction when necessary. Our mission is to foster personal growth, well-being, and community cohesion through programs by promoting positive cognitive behavioral therapy.
Okay, this thing is shrinking. Are you doing that to me deliberately? You see that?
Oh, damn. Yeah, so this is a new mission statement doing for a company pivot that we're currently looking to execute. So at Pantibus, our mission is to instill imagination in the creation of flavor. We strive to equip humanity to be able to share through their love of food, and we aim to do this through technology.
Lozart Limited, clothing and apparel. My mission is to raise vibrations through the transformative force of artistic expression, fostering I can't even read. Fostering positive energy and connections within our communities. I aim to uplift and inspire through the universal language of art, amplifying the frequencies and creativity and impact and empathy.
All right, we'll do one more. You guys all don't, oh, look at that.
I'm sorry. Thank you, Tony.
We have a couple kind of housekeeping stuff to do at the end, and I don't want to keep you guys here any longer, than 8 o'clock. Please, feel free.
Delightfully Vegan, cultivated from a love of cooking from the soul and culture, dedicated to cultivating a vibrant culinary culture centered around plant-based excellence. Our mission is to tantalize taste buds, nourish bodies, and inspire minds one delightful dish at a time. I think I kind of...
Anyone else want to go? I don't want to cut anyone off. Yay.
Yes.
Okay, we'll do one more. Before it was like pulling teeth.
I know.
You guys are all
Love it.
The scare money don't make no money. Okay. Divine Illumination. Oh, no, that's not the right one. Okay. Divine Illumination is dedicated to crafting high-quality, hand-poured, eco-friendly candles that ignite a sense of positivity worldwide. At Divine Illumination, our mission is to inspire and uplift through candles with messages of hope, positivity, and motivation. We aim to bring a sense of calm and serenity to our customers' lives, promoting mental well-being and positive thinking, brightening every moment one candle at a time.
Thank you all for sharing that. So again, this is part of that step to go into your presentation at the end. We encourage that you work on your business plan as you learn through these activities to get ready for the end. I'm going to put a small plug out there. I am not a writer. So doing business plans, I've written business plans. Again, I encourage you to use the technology out there. Is anybody using AI? ChatGPT. If you get stuck, if you're not sure what to write, put in your words at ChatGPT, tell them you need it for a business plan and see what happens. But don't just copy and paste from text. No, put it in your own words first. Put it in your own words first, but it's again, if you have writer's block, it's another tool that's out there that you can use.
Thank you, guys. And Madonna, I was just going to say the same thing. Be careful. We've seen a lot of business plans with AI just come literally as they literally copy and paste from what was written. Please don't do that. As a lender, we use your business plan, we literally use your business plan to try to get financing from you. Okay, a lot of times I take a business plan and I'm gonna look at it, I'm gonna look at what their mission is, what your mission is. I'm gonna look at how you're financed and the market, who you're competing with, all of that. It's in the business plan. Having a good business plan, I'm gonna be honest with you, I work for 3 different banks, makes our life as lenders much easier, but it also makes your life much easier because if it's written well and your mission is what you say that it is, credit approvals happen a little bit easier. So for real, make sure that you're not just writing fluff in your business plan. I'm a fluffer, I am. My boss, Natalie, who you guys met last week, always says, I put too much sauce on the spaghetti. I'm like, what? I do. I like to, add that fluff. Be careful. There's a happy medium of how much fluff that you add, but it is important, right? Sell you. You're selling yourself. That's what that business plan is about. Any questions for our friends Oscar and Tony? Do you have a question? Please.
Yes, but
Ask it.
so I'm a fluffer.
I'm a fluffer. I am definitely a fluffer.
And in my heart, it's telling me in my mission statement, say that I'm a fluffer because my business is fluff. Most of it is customer service and the way that I treat my customers like family. So when you walk in our doors, we're feeding you before you order, as long as you're not allergic to stuff. So that's a huge part of what we do. And I think that will also bring a little bit of my personality to my business plan. Looking at it from Jump Street, she's gonna fluff. And I'm sorry, you guys. That's not professional for everybody else who's serious about it, but honestly, I fluff. So I don't know what to do about.
So let me say one thing. I'm never going to tell you that fluff isn't good, okay? I'm a fluffer. I put way too much sauce on that spaghetti. I guess what I'm trying to say is don't make it all fluff. And it has to be fluff. Your business has to bring out your personality, right? The more successful that you're going to be is making your business you, right? Like you guys are investing all of this time in a business. You can't do something that someone else tells you, oh, you should really do it this way. That doesn't work. Do you really think that I always listen? Knowing me for 2 weeks, probably not. So, you're right. You got to do the fluff. Customer service in your business, it's the number one thing. I can't say that enough. Branches, when I walk into branches of, different banks and I think about how I'm greeted or if I'm not greeted, so important, right? First impression, guys. And that truly is a lot of times what your business plan is. It's your first impression. So I will never tell you not to make it you. So we can fluff together. I'm good with that. All right, guys. Anything else, please?
When you're trying to get capital, where in your business plan is it showing that that you have the resources to give the money back? Where do you put that in like for healthcare? I'm assuming it's my insurance or private pay. So where does that go to let you know that I need $50,000 and I'm going to be able to get it back to you?
I am a lender, so I can help you with that. So you're not going to, financially, you're going to be doing, for starting up a new business, it's going to be projections, okay? If you're already existing, just like what Tony said earlier, you want to say that, what you shared earlier?
So yeah, your business plan, you're not going to get into the finance behind what you want to borrow. Your business plan is your plan of how you're going to execute your business. Now, for entrepreneurs, what we're going to be looking for is then your projections, because you don't have tax returns. So that's how we usually tell if a business can repay their debt is through their tax returns. Being an entrepreneur or in business less than 3 years, we're going to ask you to look at your projections. And that's where you're going to get into detail how much you're charging for your services. You're going to put how you're collecting money, what money's going out, and then again, important to us, how we're getting paid back.
Does that make sense? So not necessarily part of the business plan, but I love that you're going there because it's definitely going to be a piece of how do you get financing. And I promise you, we have a session coming up in like 2 weeks all about that. My friend Michael Stevens will be doing that, who works for M&T, and he's going to be sharing kind of looking at financials, how do you do projections?
I have that, but you don't ask in your business plan what you want, right? You're saying, right?
No, never. Yeah, but I love that. I love where you're going. Please.
So in your business plan, could you state your ability or your credentials? I don't want to say credentials, but your ability to manage it.
Yes.
Okay.
So that comes with, I see where you're going. So that kind of comes with, I wasn't sure if it was Oscar or Tony who talked about that, but we talked about like what you did, like management, what you did prior to, all piece of it. And that is so crucial. So like you want to open up a restaurant, you managed a restaurant for 10 years. Someone who comes to us saying, I want to open up a restaurant, no experience at all. We're going to look at someone who has that experience, right? Great questions, guys. Last but not least, we asked you last week, does anyone have any questions for the panel that they would like to share? You remember we said we'll have a panel in next week, lawyers, financial advisors, CPAs. Do you have some questions? For next week? Or for me? Sorry. Okay.
It's kind of similar to what we're talking about tonight. But so you said restaurant, and that just reminded me. So for a brand new person such as myself who is aspiring to open up a restaurant, and I've never had one obviously prior, and I did talk to a broker about a month ago, and he just gave me a whole spiel. He said we will definitely, be more interested in a chain or franchise. They're quick to, give restaurant or funding to someone who's already established. So what do I need to do to stand out, make myself, I guess, believable that, okay, yes, this is going to be my first restaurant, but it's going to be successful.
Yep.
That you can bet on me, basically.
Yep. Let me share. So you can't open a restaurant and be the chief cook and bottle washer, right? So sometimes bringing on a manager who ran a restaurant before, it doesn't necessarily have to be you, but having that kind of credential, it's not a have to, but it's a good idea, right? Because they already ran a restaurant. I had someone call me last year right after this lab about that. They were starting up a restaurant and they're like, we have no experience. But I just brought on a manager who's been doing the management for 12 years. It definitely looks better. It's not always the be-all, end-all, but just think about that. And that piece, all of that should be included in your business plan, okay?
The question I had, I was for next week, but for profit and nonprofit, can a company have both, or do they not advise that, or if can I have an LLC and also have a nonprofit branch that does services?
Yeah. Great question. Yes, the answer is to your question. So there's a lot of businesses that have a nonprofit arm, let's say, or another kind of separate entity, because you have to have a different EIN number, and some that have a for-profit. So yeah, absolutely, you can do both. Yeah. And I promise, guys, we're going to go more into this. I love your questions. And listen, I'll keep you here till 9 o'clock if you want. But anyway, let me thank you all. You guys were awesome today again for your participation. Just some housekeeping. Next week, we are not going to be here because there's another event. Jamal, Madonna, do you want to give directions? You know I'm not good at this. I would have brought the mic to you. So where do we go next week? Guys, all please remember this. Don't come here next week because there's another event.
Yeah, well, come here, but don't come right here. So, yeah. So next week we'll be meeting over at the CIE, so you can see our space if you've never been there before. The CIE is located in Strawberry Square, so you still come downtown. Parking's free on the street after 5, or if you want to park in M&T's garage, that's fine as well. You can enter Strawberry Square pretty much on either side, so you can come in through Market Street. You can enter through Walnut Street. You can also enter on 3rd, okay? The CIE is on the first level in Strawberry Square. If you're familiar with Strawberry Square at all, if you're facing the escalator, okay, so if you're standing right in, there's an escalator right on the first floor. If you're standing right in front of it, the CIE is going to be to your right-hand side. You can't miss it. It's encased in glass. You can see inside. There's blue and like lime green colored walls. As Madonna said, it used to be the old Hallmark store.
If you haven't been in Strawberry Square for a really long time, it's where the Hallmark store used to be at, is where our space is now.
Yeah, another landmark, if you remember, there used to be a big clock there, a big yellow clock. You can watch the tennis balls or whatever go all through it. They removed the clock. Now there's a stage there, and there's a big yellow, like a co-working space right above that. But we're right on the first floor. You can't miss it. So if you, yeah, I would say, you know, don't come in through the university. You just have further to walk. But if you can enter through Market, Walnut, 3rd, come right into Strawberry Square on the first level, and we're right there.
And if you do happen to enter through the university and you go to the front desk, they just gonna point you towards Strawberry
Yeah,
Square.
just tell them you need to get to the CIE, and they'll give you directions.
I'm not gonna lie, I've gotten lost, so I'll be honest. I've definitely gotten lost on this CIA. Thank you so much. Stop it. Okay, guys, I'm looking forward to seeing you all next week. Again, thank you so much for all of your participation. Last but not least, Herschel, anything you want to add? I don't mean to put you on the spot.